Alright, everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Would I Buy? And as the cool kids would say, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, but don't smash the computer. Especially not when you're playing a game like this. So we're looking at the Centennial case. And this is basically an FMV game, i.e. full motion video, where looks like it obviously is from Japan. Now, obviously, when I first started playing this demo, it obviously went through the whole palaver of saying, like, you know, you'll have to forgive me at the moment. I am on babysitting duty at the moment because I have Lucy in the background that is looking at me and she is smiling, which is good.
Told me you were coming. You didn't have to wait in line. Did you really come here?
Otherwise, it would be very difficult to do this review right now. But no, let's. Anyway.
Did you really come here for my autograph?
So yeah, when starting this game, I knew obviously it was going to be a full motion, and it was basically coming out with saying, you know, please do not stream because they want people to experience this firsthand, and they don't want it spoiled. So fair enough, I am going to respect that. I am not going to show spoilers. Literally,
at my family home.
She is happy, honestly. But I am going to respect that. Although I do kind of get the feeling here that it's saying they don't want you to spoil it because
how to stop the aging process.
I don't know. I think when it comes to stuff like this, I think they're going to know that people are just probably going to watch the FMV. They're going to watch the spoilers. They're going to watch the end of it. And I think the reason why I think that is because when it comes to the gameplay itself, there isn't a whole lot to it. It is very much that you just watch the FMV, and then the idea is you pick up on clues, and after so long, every now and then it brings up the investigation side of it. And this basically takes you to a hexagonal grid. And that is where it puts forward questions and you put forward your thoughts, which it sounds good in theory that you're kind of looking out for it, but I gotta be honest, I think a lot of it kind of comes down to trial and error, that literally all you had to do was select each beat. Or at least this is what I did. And there didn't seem to be any logical reasoning a lot of time behind the clues to what the question were. It was very much trial and error. I picked up hexagonal, pieces and see if it fit. Because a lot of them it decided not to fit. A lot of them it did fit. And it was kind of just piecing together for that, which it wasn't really that much fun in that respect. And I think from what I've gathered from other people as well, that is where the game starts to show its faults. You know what? When it comes to the FMV part itself, it's really good. It is like one of the best FMV type games that I have played. You can see that. What? Doing a review. I'm not doing a review. Oh dear. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. I really have lost my train of thought. You want to sit up here? Where were I? Yeah, the FMV is really good. And I will say that it is definitely one of the best. And the acting is really good. Now, I think there was an option with the English and Japanese voice. She's crawling towards me at the moment. And I went with English. And I gotta be honest, I kind of feel as if that was the wrong choice, actually. I mean, the English voice acting is fine. It's alright, but then I sort of went back over it again. And I kind of realised that I think I wish I'd have played it in Japanese, that part now. Because I think the acting was I don't know, you get a little bit more from the tone of voice and everything when you listen to the Japanese. So I will say that if you were to try the demo, I'd probably just stick with the original Japanese voice acting. Because, yeah, just stick with the original Japanese audio.
Who'd have thought? E.g. a literary consultant.
And
yes,
every
How do
now
we
and
hear
then you
writes
are
mystery
presented
novels,
with
and he makes
choices,
sure
although
that
I
all the
don't know how much
sides
that
is
would
sad.
actually
So,
differ.
does he come up with the crime
Maybe you
tricks
get
too?
different clues from
No,
that. It does say
I
that any
devised
clues
them
that you miss
myself.
kind of get added
That's
at the end
amazing.
anyway.
I read mysteries sometimes,
So
but
it
I
is
never know
good
who
to
the
watch. I'm
culprit
gonna have to
is.
grab.
Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Well, it
There we
sounds
go.
obvious,
She can sit with
but
me,
every
and we
story
will
contains a mystery.
we will do this
And
together.
there'll
This is
always
so
be clues
strange.
to help solve that mystery. Just try to
And-
connect these clues, and somehow you'll arrive at a
Yeah,
hypothesis.
this is the strange thing when it comes
Connect the clues
to
to
it
the mystery.
because
Yes.
I kind of stopped looking at it as just the FMV at times, and I kind of looked at it in the, do you know, in the respect, like I
Every
say,
story
I'm a
has
big fan
mystery,
of
as well as clues to help
Phoenix
solve that
Wright, like
mystery.
text-based games when the story's really good. And I think the moment
In
I
this
switched my
cognitive
frame of mind
space,
into
I
that
fit the mystery and clues
aspect,
together like a puzzle.
I think I enjoyed it a little
Come up
bit
with a
better because it
hypothesis and
seems
build a
like each
connected
story in
path of
each
logic.
case, I presume,
here
will
to
be
help with the reasoning,
self-contained.
huh?
Now, obviously, in the demo,
Yes,
it only
but
had
remember,
chapter
you're
1.
just an image of aging inside my head.
I won't spoil what it was actually about. Obviously, you can play the demo
Let's give
yourself
it a
if
shot.
need be. But, he coughed top. And, yeah, I think in that respect, the moment I switched my mind wave into that, like a text-based game, I think I enjoyed it all a little bit better. However, I wouldn't say it's perfect because obviously I think the game's wanting you to look out for clues and see if you can solve the mystery yourself, which sounds good, but I think I kind of preferred the way it's done in stuff like Phoenix Wright, etc. Now, obviously, when I say that, I think it's because in Phoenix Wright, you slowly learn what happens very slowly, bit by bit. Like in Phoenix Wright, obviously, you object to basically saying, well, that couldn't happen. And then you learn out why. And you slowly piece together the whole story of what happened. And I really liked that. The pacing was so good. And that's why I've always liked Phoenix Wright. The problem is with this, it's not that the stories are bad or that the mystery was bad. I think it was just... I think it's kind of like, imagine if you just played the whole thing at once, and then all of a sudden you had to do all those cutscenes literally in one go at the very last second. And it's like, I suppose you could say it felt like information overload to the point where I didn't have a clue what were actually going on in the story because it wanted me to piece together all this evidence all at once on the hexagonal grid at the last second rather than actually just pacing a lot more and slowly figuring it out. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't have, you know, as you get further into the game, maybe that will be resolved and you do get more opportunities for that, but going off the demo alone, I kind of just felt like it wanted me to just solve the whole mystery at once, but as if looking for clues as I watched the FMV. And obviously you do get the ability to look back on previous clips, and that's obviously pretty nice in that respect. But I kind of just wish there'd have been like, you know, piecing together the mystery as you went along. I mean, this is the problem, I think, when it comes to when you're experiencing the mystery firsthand, because that's what it were. You were experiencing mystery, whereas in stuff like Phoenix Wright or like all these crime type games, you're kind of trying to figure it out by slowly investigating. It was essentially, it was like, imagine a Japanese version of Scooby-Doo, where all of a sudden you kind of I don't know, you just watch it, you enjoy it, and then at the last second, they kind of reveal who it were, and then they explain why. Oh, well, we noticed all this, and that, and I'm like, that is pretty much what this game reminds me of. It's like a live action, you know, more serious version of Scooby-Doo. I never thought I'd make a link between that and Scooby-Doo, but that's kind of what it felt like in that respect. So it's not by all means bad, but I think it frustrated me a little bit with that, and I don't think I'm alone when I've heard sort of reviews like that. I think the FMV and everything is brilliant. The stories themselves, the story that I experienced was okay. I think it could have been good, and I just feel like it's let down a little bit by the way the investigation part's done itself. Because even when you're piecing together, it's just all trial and error.
That's how
Or
you
at
read
least
a mystery novel.
you could complete it all by trial and error. Not that you couldn't do this,
right?
that in other
How do you know EJ?
games like Phoenix Wright was trial and error as well,
when we
but
were looking for an advisor
at least
on
they,
scientific matters. We practically
you
forced him to arrange today's
only
session
had to
as
think
well.
about one
Thank
bit
you
at a
so
time,
much
and
for
you
agreeing
slowly
to
got a
meet
bit
us.
more. Whereas this,
Really
it was kind of
insist on
like
it.
you were
Please,
forced into solving
make yourselves
everything all at
comfortable.
once and slotting together all these hexagonal pieces, and I kind of got a bit fed up. It just kept going and going and going. But yeah,
That looks very good on you.
so that is the only thing I will
Last
say,
word
is
from
that
Mono.
they didn't want
You
people
look
to
so
spoil it, because I
handsome in it.
think
She's right.
they knew
I
that
barely
people would probably
recognize
just
you.
watch the
Well,
whole
I can't
video
have
and
the
then
cherry
they'd
blossom
never
ceremony
buy
in my
it,
regular
which
clothes.
obviously would be
It was all laid out for
not
me.
very good
Most
for them,
importantly,
especially in this day and age. Obviously, doing an FMV type game would be kind of difficult. You'd have got away with it more back then, but not these days. So obviously, if it came to would I buy, I want to. I think I would, but I could probably wait for it on a sale. Yeah? What do you think? Would you buy it? Yeah? I wouldn't have bought it. I mean, it's been out for a bit now anyway, so it's probably more on sale, but the demo had only just come out, so it's the first I've kind of experienced it. But I think even then, I would buy it, I want to buy it, but I think I'd probably wait for a sale a bit. And I feel a bit ashamed to say that, because I think it has got a lot of potential, and the acting was good, the characters were good. It seems to be like the same characters that just play different roles in each, because I think that's what it is. You're basically playing as a mystery writer that's looking through these other old mystery stories or something like that. It's just an excuse for
Quite the
an
success.
anthology type storytelling experience, and I'm all for that. I enjoyed that. I presume from what I've gathered, it's about 15 hours long, which is pretty good, really, when you think of for an FMV game. That's really good. But
Every story
just
has a
purely
mystery,
down to
as
that
well as clues to
investigation
help
reel
solve that mystery.
and how the story or all the facts were presented, I just felt like
this
it could have been a little bit better, and I think on that, it kind of put me off wanting to buy it straight away, which is a bit of a shame, really. So I could probably wait for it, because I do think there is potential there and I would want to. If they were to ever bring out another one, though, and actually fix those problems, I probably would buy it, because that was the only thing I think is letting it down. But obviously, as always, that is just my opinion. So I will put it round to you guys. I mean, I know this game's been out for a little bit. So have you bought it? Did you buy it straight away? Or did you wait for it? Or could you wait for it? Or is it something that doesn't interest you? Especially in this day and age with FMV. There's something about actual full motion video as compared to, say, games like Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain, etc., where it's all... In fact, was it The Quarry? It's probably one of the latest ones where it is still a very story-driven, heavy-driven, but using CGI instead of FMV. I kind of just wonder why they didn't just do FMV. You could have probably done a lot more.
Who'd have
but
thought? E.g. a literary
Oh, well.
consultant.
Yes.
I'm gonna go
Here
sort
writes
out
mystery
Lucy now.
novels,
So yeah,
and
let
he
us know
makes
in the
sure that
comments
all the
otherwise.
science
And
is
until
sound.
then, I will see you
So,
guys on
does
the
he come
next
up with
one.
the crime tricks
Laters.
too?
No, I devised them myself.
That's amazing. I read mysteries sometimes, but I never know who the culprit is. Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Well, it sounds obvious, but every story contains a mystery. And there will always be clues to help solve that mystery. Just try to connect these clues, and somehow you'll arrive at a hypothesis.
Connect the clues to the mystery.
Yes,